Well, we just finished our first week of our 2024 reading list. And as I said last week, I did start with the book Emotional Inflammation. And I've gotten through the first part of the book, so the first 3 chapters. Those of you that are reading along, how far have you gotten? Let me know in the comments how far you've gotten, and you can share any thoughts you want with me about the book in the comments also. I'd love to read what you all think. So what I have gathered in these first few chapters is that emotional inflammation, the way I understand it from what they wrote in the book, is that it's from a buildup of stressors in our life, and they can be low level stressors, but it's that we're constantly exposed to them and we don't really get any relief that causes the detriment to our well-being. And so we have a continuous exposure to things that cause us stress, be it media, heck, sometimes I think just commuting to work. But we are in a state of fight or flight, and we end up in that state continuously, even though, it is initially just low level stressors. The fact that we don't really get relief from it causes it to build up over time. And that's what the emotional inflammation is. And so, it can be detrimental to us in that we still end up with things like brain fog, anxiety, depression, emotional paralysis, to name a few. We need to find ways to relieve that. And it does look like the book will end up talking about what we can do. But this first part was just defining it. And then also there was a quiz in the second chapter. I don't know if any of you have taken that yet. I took the quiz, and the quiz is 12 questions that you answer, A, B, C, or D. And based on your answers, you determine what your reactor type is. And I took the quiz, and I found that I am tied for 2. I am both a nervous and also a retreating reactor. And in thinking about my life and kind of how I deal with when I get overwhelmed, I definitely say that fits, at least for me. So if you've taken this quiz, or when you do take this quiz, I'm curious to know, do you agree with your results? Like, can you see how it fits for you, or do you think it's way off? And if you don't mind sharing your type, I'm curious to know, because I'm just curious. I thought this was interesting, and it was an interesting start. I also made notes here that I find it interesting that they do talk about how men and women do, in fact, it has been scientifically tested and proven that men and women do handle stress differently, just due to the way that our brains are wired. So men and women are going to react differently to stress, and we're going to process it differently. So telling men and women to do things the same way when it comes to stress isn't necessarily going to work well for them, because that lights up different areas of our brains. I thought that was kind of neat. I think we might have known that already, though. So I am looking forward to continuing on in this book and learning how we can deal with our emotions in more productive ways now that we recognize our reactor type. And it does look like that we're going to learn some tips for each different reactor type, so we can create our own, what they call, restore plan. And then using our restore plan, it's supposed to help us to regain our equilibrium. And I'm looking forward to this, and I hope you are too. Again, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to have some discussion around this book. And I will see you next week.